Can I hear a whoop whoop from any moms in the room? Oh, yeah. Yeah. How about business moms? Like maybe you don't have like a human baby, but your baby is like a business baby. Yeah. You're pretty rowdy too. I like it. Okay. So did you know that there is an increase in heart palpitations, headaches, eczema, and chest infections amongst women in their 30s and 40s, and it's directly linked to high stress and a lack of sleep. Bummer, right? Can anyone relate to the feeling of complete exhaustion and overwhelm? Yeah. A lot of women are chalking up these feelings to just hashtag mom life. That's just the experience that comes with it, the territory. But what if I told you there is a different way you could experience being a mom? That you didn't have to get lost in the overwhelm and the exhaustion. Would you want to learn tools and techniques that you could use on the daily so you could feel calm and centered and enough? Is that something you want to learn? Yeah. Well, that's good because that's what I came here to talk about. As Elizabeth generously said, I'm Lauren. I'm a life coach to busy and tired moms. I'm also a yoga teacher and a very proud mom of a 4-year-old Spitfire and a 14-year-old Spitfire. I've been a stay-at-home mom, a single mom, a working mom, an entrepreneur mom, and now also a stepmom. Additionally, I've passionately studied human connection for the last 5 years. And I'm committed to making sure everyone feels seen and nobody gets lost. I'm in my 30s and I'm feeling confident and beautiful, valued, and like my life has purpose. That certainly has not always been my reality. I was raised in a fundamental Christian community, which I've now realized is actually a cult. And by the time I was 22, I was married to a very good Christian boy, and I had never been more miserable. I was expected to be a subservient wife to a man I could no longer respect. I was depressed. I had developed an eating disorder. I was working 4 jobs. I was living my life as a facade for what other people needed me to be. And I was exhausted and alone. And I can remember sitting in a car, having just left a meeting with 3 congregation elders. And these 3 men in suits told me that because I didn't want to stay married to my cult husband, I would be shunned by every member of the community I had grown up in, every single one of my friends, and every member of my immediate family. So as the weight of the reality of being abandoned and judged by the people who were supposed to love and support me the most, as that set in, I still knew that I couldn't go back. I knew my life had to be about more than living exhausted and tired and for other people. So I began to take care of myself in small ways, myself for the first time. And yoga was the opportunity I had to really reconnect with my body. I was raised to be very ashamed of all that was going on here. So yoga invited me back in, and I could start to really connect with that body and know that it's beautiful and unique and can do amazing things. And it started to talk to me about like, oh, what felt good, what poses were good, you know, a little stretch here and there. But then as I listened, I noticed that there was a smaller voice inside. And the more I listened to it, the more it had to say. And that was my intuition, my true self, that person that had been buried for so long. And I just grabbed a hold of that voice, and it was curious. It had a whole new world to figure out. And with the help of the entire self-help section at Chapters and a really great mentor, I developed that true self. And then once I was centered there, I could build a community of people who saw the beautiful, unique gem that my own heart was, and they could support me in this new life. And that's how I'm here today. So I know y'all weren't likely raised in the cult. But who here has spent all their energy living for somebody else? And who here has done all the right things and still felt really empty and alone? And it's sad, but so many of us have experienced that. And why is that? Well, part of it is that the culture that our modern society is. It's so go, go, go. There's so much pressure to just produce all of the time. And that really does not change when we become mothers, when we take on new roles as business women or partners. We have this unreal expectation when we cram so much into our days and then it doesn't get done and then we beat ourselves up about it. Now, there's no way or easy, simple fix to change the modern world that we live in, but we are responsible for it and we can change how we show up in that world. So I have three tips for you tonight. I talked about before my love of yoga-based movement, and maybe you were at my workshop today, or maybe you can come tomorrow if you want to do the body part. But right now we're seated. So we're going to just do 3 tips for reviving your energy, for connecting back into yourself on the daily that don't require a yoga membership. So tip number 1 is acknowledge that you're a cyclical creature. Women, our bodies are beautiful and they flow through cycles just like our planet Earth, and our periods are bloody frickin' proof of that. Right? Depending where we're at our cycle, our body will naturally release hormones that can give you a surge of energy or a surge of no thank you. We are literally not programmed to hustle at the same pace all the time. If you have no idea where you are at in your cycle, then download the app Clue. Elizabeth and I will help you get it. It's insightful and it's empowering. Shift your viewpoint from thinking that you have to hustle hard all the time to realizing that you are a shape-shifting goddess that can go from empathetic and tender and sensitive to ass-kicking Xena warrior princess in the span of a week and a half. Like, come on. Tip number 2, invite play back into your life. Great counterbalance to the impending to-do list feeling is a little simple joy. Science has already said, yeah, we should do more of that. That was literally how they wrote it. So this is my little practice for that. You need to make yourself a booty shaking playlist. I want the guilty pleasures on that, the love shack, the whatever that you can't help but just like in your car. If you're lip syncing, even better. Then you need to press shuffle and commit to yourself to dancing to 3 of those songs in a row. Watch your energy change. I love to do this when I don't feel like making dinner, which is almost every time I have to make dinner. And you just, you take off. Just commit to 3 songs, trust shuffle, make it happen. Now, tip number 3 in reviving your energy is take a compliment. Typically, this is what it'll sound like when a woman receives a compliment. Oh, great dress. Thank you. It's like 3 years old and I got it on sale. Right? Technically, nothing rude or wrong with that. But what it does is it's taking the energy that the universe is offering you and it shifts it right off. And how can we expect to be abundant women if we can't hold that energy, that attention for 3 seconds? So the next time you receive a compliment, just say thank you. If you're really called to just add to the conversation, then say something positive to add. So it could sound like, hey, great dress. Thank you. I really love the shade of coral. So all 3 of these points are simple daily things you can do to shift the energy back from other people, other tasks, and just onto yourself. Begin to revive yourself. And you deserve to. You deserve to feel good and to spend money on yourself and to have time for yourself. The tricky thing is that many of us have never been directly told that before. But I know it's true, and I know it's true because we all have a super high inherent value. Somehow, society has kind of fed us this story that we've fallen from this place of grace, that mankind is born with sin, and I call bullshit on that. You were conceived in the womb of a miracle. You are a miracle within yourself, against all odds. And just by growing and living, which from the looks of it you've all done, you have adapted, overcome, and explored. And on the most basic level, that's phenomenal. You're unique and you're beautiful, and you deserve to feel proud and full and satisfied. Since I learned to connect to my body, to my soul, and then to a community that appreciated that, I've been able to elevate my life, and by extension, the life of my family, to a level I had not allowed myself to previously dream. And I know that you can do that too, and I'd be honored to guide you in that, but ultimately you have to do it for yourself. So begin to play and explore with the 3 tips we talked about tonight. If you're curious about what it can look like in more different ways, come talk to me afterwards. It's been such a wonderful honor to be here with you tonight, and I'd like to acknowledge you all for being here, for taking the time to live your life. The light and dark in me, the joy and the struggle honors the light and dark in you. Namaste.